right, we are going to go ahead and get started. We are recording this, so we will send it out as well if you need to rewatch it. But like we said earlier, hopefully you got a chance to download the workbook. It is located in the chat. If you didn't get a chance to download the workbook, at least have out a piece of paper and a pen just so you can take some notes as we go through this, how to set a schedule. So first of all, thank you, welcome. Thanks for joining us for today's nutrition seminar on 5 tips for setting a schedule. I'm Sarah Coyne.
I'm Javier Castro.
And we are the nutrition coaches at CrossFit 1836. So we always like to start off our webinars, seminars with just a little open question. So the first question is, and this is on your workbook, so go ahead and just check off yes or no, but do you currently have a daily schedule or routine? So go ahead and check off yes or no there. Be honest with yourself. I know for me, I definitely have a daily schedule or routine and it changes daily. So, but it definitely works. If you do, what does it include? Go ahead and jot down some things. Does it include when you're eating? Does it include your workouts? Does it include your doctor's appointments? What all does that schedule or routine look like? All right, next question is, are you maximizing your potential and hours? I think this is a big one because it's kind of a soul-searching one. You really have to think about it. And I know for me, when I think about are you maximizing your potential and hours, I immediately think of my phone and social media and the time that I spend there rather than actually completing the task that I should be doing. So we'll definitely talk a little bit about that for you today. Most importantly, if you do not utilize a schedule or have a routine, have you thought about creating one? And hopefully that's why you're here tonight with us or watching this at a later time, because you are wanting to either improve your schedule or definitely create one. So let's get started. We're going to give you 5 tips for setting a schedule.
All right. Tip number 1, make a list of all your daily tasks. The first step is to look into what you need to do every day. Don't worry about organizing the list just yet. Just focus on putting down everything that you need in that list.
Yes, this is a great tip. So include the tasks that work well for you and those that should aid in your day-to-day routine. These questions that I'm going to give you may help determine what you need to add to your list. So what things should you do before going to work? So go ahead on your paper, start kind of creating a little list, but what are some things that you should do before you go to work? What tasks should you get your children? Which tasks did you have to do to get your children to school? I know all about that one. What errands should you run daily? What should you do to exercise? What tasks should you do to have a healthy meal plan, meal prep? Definitely needs to be part of your list. What should you do to maintain an organized house? Besides hire a housekeeper.
Don't have kids.
Make sure you make a list and remember that no task is too small. It's okay to include things like simply brushing your teeth, or I know a big one that I had to add was one of my New Year's resolutions was my face routine at night, like washing my face and going through a whole routine. So literally had to add that to my to-do list just to check it off, just to feel that satisfaction. So no task is too simple, but take a few minutes and just kind of jot down what are some things that you need to get done during your day. Anyone have a crazy one that they want to add to the chat? We're welcome. Any crazy routines that you need to do daily?
All right, tip number 2, structure your day by prioritizing your list of tasks. So you wrote everything down. So now you structure your day, but you prioritize those tasks by writing everything you have due in the upcoming month. From there, you determine what needs to be done daily and by the end of each week and by the month end.
Awesome. I like this tip because it really breaks down, when you're actually really diving into this, you have to think a month out.
Yep.
and then you have to think a week out, and then you have to think a day out, and each day, maybe what you scheduled a month ago changed, so you have to revisit it. But prioritizing includes deciding what order tasks should be completed based on their importance. This strategy may help you organize your time more efficiently. This helps you learn how to complete important tasks first, meet deadlines, and have more time to finish larger tasks. Prioritization skills can help you accomplish more work in less time. First, you need to decide what tasks on your to-do list are most crucial. You could determine this based on work deadlines. If you have, work deadlines you have for the week, household expectations or meetings or even appointments. For example, you may focus on a work project due at the end of the day before moving on to other less urgent tasks. And I think prioritizing for me, what it does most is if I have a tough task in front of me, even if it's due at the end of the day and I have an easier task that may be due later in the week, I always find myself veering towards that easier task instead of really just taking the time and knocking out that tougher task. So writing this down, prioritizing it for me has really made me, I want to scratch that off my list. And so it's made me put more time and attention to tasks that may be more complicated instead of leaving it for last.
All right, tip number 3, schedule your meals, your snacks, work, and activities.
You knew we were going to talk about this. Yeah, we're definitely going to talk about this. This is big. So once you decide which tasks are most important, make sure you schedule them. I know for my family, what works is we have a Google Calendar that we share. And I say it's my family. It's extended to the gym, to all the coaches here. Like we all have schedules and we add every task that's happening to that schedule. I called Matt the other day for something and he didn't answer. And I was like, hello. And he said, I'm in a meeting. It's in the calendar. And I was like, I'm sorry, I don't check the calendar before I call you. I just call you. But definitely schedule those things in. All right. You may want to enter them into a spreadsheet or even organize them into a task calendar. Scheduling your task based on deadlines can help you stay focused and work more efficiently. Prioritizing your time can be easier when you see your list of tasks each day. You may find that you focus better on those daily tasks when you have a visual reminder of each one of them that need to be completed. Completing them can also provide a feeling of accomplishment. We were talking about that earlier. Like I love to just check stuff off or delete things off of a list. As humans, it's just something we get that gratification of checking that box. So definitely encourage you to put these things in your calendar and write them down.
Yeah. Lean on technology, right? Like the Google calendars and things like that. There's tasks that you can put in there. You can share them with your family. Same thing with Apple. Like all those things have something that you can share within your family. So everybody's kind of connected, and we're all on our devices all the time, right? So just prioritize those meetings and everything. Like put it all in there so everybody can see what everybody's doing.
Yeah, I encourage you after we leave this meeting tonight, like look some things up. I know one thing I've looked up is called time blocking. There's a lot of articles out there on time blocking and, using different calendars and colored calendars to really, prioritize and block off on your day what you can accomplish. Through the research I've done in time blocking, guys, it even talks about blocking off like your social media time. You're going to have 20 minutes in the morning that you're going to get on social media and 20 minutes in the afternoon. I know we like to play the game of, we're adults and we don't need it, but the reality is we do it. So incorporate it into your day so you don't get stuck in that hole of just TikToking.
It's the same thing, right? We're talking about even your snacks, your meals, even drinking water, right? So a lot of us are just sitting on the desk or something and you're just so busy doing something, you just kind of forget to either eat or drink or whatever. So make sure you put those alarms in there. It has helped a lot of people.
Alarms, yes, those are key. Matt has a 10:30 alarm that goes off in church every Sunday for his snack, but we've usually just had it or we're about to have it, so it works.
All right, tip number 4, try out the new routine and make some adjustments wherever they're needed.
Once everything is all set up, it's time to practice your routine. Write it on paper and then test drive it for a few days. Take notes of your feelings. Did you schedule the task in a way that doesn't make sense? Do you feel that adjusting some aspects would make more sense to you? If yes, don't shy away from making changes. In the end, you should have a routine that works best for you. We're all different, guys. This is so important. And I know what works for me may not work for the person next to me. That doesn't mean we need to get discouraged. Just like nutrition, we encourage people to start with the 90 days. Give it, test drive it for 90 days. See if this is something that you can do. And the same thing goes for scheduling. It also reminds me the first time I meal prepped and cried in the kitchen because I didn't know what I was doing. It's the same way the first time I created this schedule. It was just this huge task, but once you get used to doing it, it's kind of just like second nature. What used to take you 30 minutes now only takes you, 7 to 10 minutes. So definitely test drive it out and make sure it works for you.
All right, the last tip is track your progress with a task checklist or visual calendar.
Yeah, this is huge. Have a regular schedule means that you are setting yourself up for success. Remember that the potential to achieve your goal lies in you, and forming healthy habits take time and effort. So I encourage you to think about how you are investing your time, and definitely also refer back to your goals. Yeah. We always talk about goals and keeping those at the forefront. And I guarantee you, if you start to find ways to incorporate your goals into your weekly schedules, those goals will more frequently or more quickly become a reality. So, all right, those were your 5 tips. Thank you so much for joining us today for these 5 tips for setting a schedule nutrition seminar. If you have any questions for us, you can go ahead and add those to the chat box now. We'll stick around and answer some. If you joined us late, the booklet is in the top of the chat box, and we also recorded this, so we will make sure to send it all out so you can rewatch it again to get those tips. But if you have any questions, ask away. If not, thanks for joining us, and we hope to see you next month at our next Nutrition Talk.